What if I told you that you could build a complete, working application without writing a single line of code yourself? I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but it's happening right now, and it could mean you'll never have to actually read source code again. Now, before we dive in, if you're into the future of tech, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for @BrandTechAuth down below. You won't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's get into it. So imagine this. Instead of spending weeks hunched over a keyboard, you just describe your idea for an app in plain English. And that's the whole idea behind this new thing called vibe coding. You can see the definition here, but basically you talk to a big AI model, the same kind of tech behind ChatGPT, and it just generates all the code for you. It's wild. You stop being the coder and, well, you become the visionary, the director. I mean, it sounds incredible, right? Almost too good to be true. A world where anyone with a great idea can bring it to life in just a few minutes. But here's the big question. Is this new frontier all upside? Or are there some serious hidden risks we need to talk about? In this explainer, we're going to dig into both sides of the coin, the absolutely amazing time-saving power and the very real challenges that come along with it. So does this mean it's actually the end of coding as we know it? Well, to figure that out, we've got to see how this stuff works in the real world. So let's take a look at an actual example. Okay, so a hosting expert named Walter Acolo decided to put a platform called Base44 to the test. He didn't just give it a vague idea, he crafted a really detailed prompt for a client project management app. He specified everything, user roles, dashboard features, you name it. And then the AI did something that honestly blew my mind. It didn't just start spitting out code. First, it generated a complete plan, outlining all the features in the app structure. It literally showed its work before it began the live build. And here's where things get absolutely insane. That whole process, from hitting enter on that detailed prompt to having a fully functional, complex application ready to go, took less than 6 minutes. Let that sink in for a second. A project that would normally take a team of developers days, maybe even weeks, was done in the time it takes to grab a coffee. We're not just talking about saving a few hours a week here. This changes the entire game. And we're not talking about some flimsy prototype either. The quality was genuinely impressive. Just like Walter said, he really didn't expect something this complete. The app had a full backend dashboard, data models, working API endpoints. It even came with sample data plugged in. But here's the real kicker. During the build, the AI actually ran into an error. And instead of just crashing, it diagnosed the problem, rewrote its own code on the fly, and just kept going, all by itself. No human help needed. So Base44 is clearly a beast, but it's not the only player in this new game. Different tools are taking totally different approaches to building software with AI. To really get the full picture, let's compare two of the heavy hitters in this space right now. And this table right here, it just perfectly lays out the two different philosophies at play. You've got Base44, which is all about pure raw speed. You go from an idea to a working app in minutes, period. Then you have Replit. It's a bit more methodical. It takes longer, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, because it has this separate planning phase where you, the developer, actually review and approve the app's architecture first. That extra step gives you way more control and usually leads to a much more solid foundation, since you can spot design flaws before a single line of code gets written. If Base44 is a drag racer built for the quarter mile, Replit is more like a full-on custom workshop. So we have this incredible promise of speed and power, right? It all looks fantastic. But what happens after that initial wow factor wears off? Well, let's talk about the messy reality that some people are running into. Let's talk about the vibe coding hangover. Yeah, check out this quote from a real user over on Reddit. It really hits home. After building a pretty simple app with Base4, they were stuck with a homepage that took over 20 seconds to load. 20 seconds! As they said, it's completely unworkable. You'd be ashamed to present that to a client. And this is the danger when you prioritize speed above everything else. You might get a working app, but it could be so slow and clunky that it's basically useless. And that crazy load time, that's just one of the common pitfalls. When you're not seeing or understanding the code, you're flying blind. And that can lead to all sorts of problems, like hidden security holes, sneaky bugs that you don't find until it's too late, and really difficult debugging. For the professional engineers who have to maintain and scale these AI-generated apps, it can quickly become what they call development hell. So, after all that, where does this leave us? Is vibe coding just a cool party trick with a nasty hangover? Well, not exactly. I think it helps to look at this not as the end of developers, but as the start of a whole new and honestly really powerful era of creativity. Here's a bottom line. We are watching a massive shift in how software gets made. The barrier to entry, which used to be months or even years of learning to code, is being crushed. Now it's measured in minutes of just vibing with an AI. This doesn't mean we don't need experts anymore. We absolutely do. But it lowers the barrier so dramatically that it's going to empower a whole new wave of creators and entrepreneurs who were locked out before. And that really brings us to the final and I think most exciting thought. For so long, the power to create software was held by people who could speak the language of machines. That's not the case anymore. The new limit is just the clarity and creativity of your ideas. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. If building an application is now as easy as just describing what you want, what will you create? Seriously, drop your ideas in the comments below. I would absolutely love to see what you all come up with.